Hi, I'm Natalie Ledwell, and this is the Inspiration Show. Today on the show, I have a very special guest with me, actually a friend of mine, who is really helping people to get their message out into the world through the internet in a very a unique and very effective way. So I'd like you to welcome my guest today, Mr. Anik Singal. How are you, Anik?
I'm good, Natalie. How are you? Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here, and we've got some awesome information to share with people today. And of course, I'm all about, if you have an amazing message and you want to get it out into the world, for me, obviously, the internet was a game changer. So any way that we can help people very easily leverage, what they have and the message that they have and to get it out there is always, very interesting information for our viewers. But before we get into any of that awesome stuff, why don't we start a little bit about your background and your story and how you got into doing what it is that you do.
Sure, I'd love to. I'm 31 years old now. I started about closing in on 12 years now, so 11 plus years ago. I was still in college. I'll tell you, my whole inspiration to start when I first started was only because I wanted to basically generate income. I mean, that's the truth. I wanted to make income. I wanted to make money. And so I was sitting in college. I didn't want to do the usual 9 to 5. I didn't want to be controlled by somebody else. And so I went out to start looking for a way to generate an income. Now, those days, we're young, so the whole concept of reaching the world and having a voice and having an influence, it's not really big at that moment. So what happened is I started doing a lot of things. I started learning how to do internet marketing. I really struggled. I'm talking about big time struggle for 18 months. Couldn't figure it out. Finally, one day, it was like snapping into gear, and I figured it out. And before I knew it, I'm sitting in college. I'm making over $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month net profit. I didn't get a job. I turned down amazing job offers from Wall Street just because I was so happy with my business. Traveled the world, spoke on stage, started doing amazing things, and my business was booming and it was growing. And I'll tell you where I learned about the true impact and voice that we end up having without realizing it, and it changed who I was when my business actually took a really big turn for the South. The economy crashed a little bit. I made some really bad business decisions. My expenses went through the roofs. I had this can't touch me Superman thing going on, so I thought I could do anything I want. And that didn't pan out to be very well. So all of a sudden, I go from having a business that's doing $10 million a year to now being $1.7 million in debt. And I was destroyed. And at this point, it's like I'm going to end up declaring bankruptcy. So, and I've never shared this publicly, Natalie, so you're the first person I'm talking about this with. So basically, I had to do whatever I had to do to make money, to get that money back. And so what I ended up doing was, I got led down some tracks, and I found some friends, and I ended up in a market that I felt I could monetize very quickly, right? And it did, and I made a lot of money. It was really, at that time, it was like devil in the deep sea. I had to pick one or the other. I didn't have a choice. Something started to happen, though, as I started to monetize that industry. Of course, I started to make a ton of my money back. I started to pay my debts back, and the whole business process that happened there and how email marketing saved my company, you can see all of that at, click the link and I share the story. But where I want to talk about with you guys is, I started traveling around, and people would come up to me and they would ask me stuff about the things I emailed them about. And essentially, I'll tell you what happened. I went into a market. I went from being a person who taught entrepreneurs and businessmen and internet marketers to being someone who started supporting these one-click rich programs, these click a button and make a ton of money, because they converted and they made money. And I'm admitting it. It was a mistake. I wish I hadn't done it, but at the same time, it paid the bills at that time. It saved my life. But then what started happening is people started coming and talking to me about it. They're saying, hey, I bought that program, it's not quite working, and this and that, and I'm trying. And in my head, I think, man, this person trusted me, and based on my word, not only bought this program, but has spent the last 6 weeks of their life trying to make it work, when deep down I know it's probably just not going to work the way it's sold. I had a real moment of just turnaround at that point where I realized, you know what? I'm not just Anik Singal sitting behind a computer anymore. I have a voice. The world is listening. People are listening to me, and I'm guiding people. I have to take that responsibility very seriously. And it brought me a lot of joy, Natalie, by the way, to know that suddenly, out of nowhere, by mistake, I had fallen on the most beautiful method of being able to take my voice out to the world while also generating a very high quality business out of it. It's just now I take my voice very seriously. What I say, how I deliver it, I take it very seriously because I know there's people listening. So for those of you listening right now, you could have an amazing following, an amazing voice. You could reach the world. You could change the world, all using something as simple as email marketing, business model, and while also achieving financial freedom for yourself.
Yeah. It's interesting when you shift from, and I have a similar story. I had my 30s is what I call my beige years, because beige is just a yucky color. It's just a nothing color. But the reason I call it my beige years is because I had 10 years where Glenn and we had so many different businesses. We had a nightclub for 5 years, bathroom advertising, property development, coffee franchises, health food business. Like there were so many different things that we did. But every single business that we went into was like, how much to invest, what's our return on our investment, can we make money, and what's our exit strategy. So it's all about the money.
Yep.
And for me, it was like, it wasn't soul crushing, but to me, it wasn't soul fulfilling.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until the whole, idea with that my movies came along that we started to, work forward through this, and we started to get these emails from people going, this is changing my life. Yeah. That it started to wake something in me. Yeah. That really opened my soul up again. I'm like, no, this is where I'm supposed to be. So
I couldn't agree more. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so totally. I mean, and I think we've all in the past gone through things that we've done just for the money because we have to. But isn't it interesting, and I'd like to get your take on this and how you go from, what was that shift for you, or how do you feel now, like going from focusing just on the money and how important it is for you to serve people rather than focusing on the money?
Oh man, I just got chills with that question because it's such an amazing feeling. I don't know how to put it in words. First of all, my income shot up by almost threefold. Okay, so I think I want to make that a point. When I suddenly started doing good by my people, as they would say, my income went through the roof. And I love waking up in the morning. Okay, I love when I have 1,800 emails from people. Right now, I'm busy doing all kinds of things. We've got a launch going on, this and that. And I was joking with another one of our affiliates this morning. I said, man, I woke up this morning and I had like 6 fires to put out. Guess what? I love it. I have no problems putting them out because I know that I'm doing what I love to do. This, I'll tell you something. This recently happened 3 days ago. I was just talking to a friend of mine. He's a really big motivational speaker, and he said something to me. And he said, if you were to die in exactly 7 days, if you knew that 7 days from now you're going to die, what would you do? What would you do in your life? And I froze, and I looked at him and I said, nothing. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, I would keep living the way I am right now. Like, I wouldn't want to change anything. And that was like, I still get chills thinking about that. That's a really big thing for a 31-year-old to be able to say, is like, I'm really happy. I think I've done a great thing. I've helped change a lot of lives. I know a lot of my students personally now who 3 months ago were a completely different person. So the feeling is amazing. You literally feel like you're fulfilling a destiny. You're actually out there changing lives, helping people. You see them, you hear them. And I don't know how it works, but it works. In the process of doing it, you make millions of dollars. So it's like win-win-win all around.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, my movies, we're focusing on serving, and as a result of that, it is the most financially successful business that we have. But okay, so I need to. That's actually a really interesting question, because when you just ask that question, then I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I may actually fly back to Australia to spend some time with my family, but other than that, there is nothing in my life that I would really change, because I'm doing exactly what I love. And for me, I think that we all have the same purpose in life, and our purpose is to be the best human being that we can be, and to make that contribution. Our mission on how that shows up is different for everybody. Mm-hmm. So that if you're someone that's watching this show and you have an incredible experience that will help other people, or you have some kind of healing knowledge, or whatever that is, you're doing humanity a disservice not being able to get that message out there. Yeah. Like I said, the internet's such an amazing way to do that. So, Anik, can you share some examples, some stories of some people that you've worked with, and how you've been able to help them get their message out to the world?
Sure, absolutely. I'll share some really recent ones, actually. We have, so what happened is we launched this program called Inbox Blueprint. We did it back in January, and from this program we've had some amazing, amazing stories come through. There was an individual I'll talk about. His name is Tom, and he's spent his entire life working and counseling and coaching dentists. So check this out. He's a marketing consultant, an advertising and marketing consultant. He helps dentists and dental hygienists build their business. He's been doing it forever. He's amazing at what he does. He was just going about his day. One day he actually lands upon some killer research, and he ends up creating a supplement that it's changing lives. It's saving lives. Okay, this supplement is all about oral health. It's about something called dryness, like the dryness of the mouth. And so he starts researching this, spends a lot of time researching, perfecting this tablet, creates it, and now he's working through the dentists, getting it out to patients, and the patients are loving it. He's getting all this great feedback, and he says, I want to take this, I gotta share this with the world. This is amazing. I don't know how he lands upon Inbox Blueprint in January, no internet marketing experience, no nothing, and he starts doing it. And you know what happens with us is we kind of keep track of the students who are just kicking butt, and of course we kind of start helping them more, and because they're showing such interest. So I come to learn of his story. I start helping him more. We spend a lot more time together. Now, fast forward today, he has an email list of 20,000 people. And we've built this entire funnel for him where he is able to get out more information. He's getting out free information, PDFs and videos about oral health, and he's helping those people by then giving them the option of trying his tablets that he's created. So before, he had a pool of like 7, 8, 9, 10 dentists in one local area that were sending out his message. Now he's got 20,000 people worldwide, from Singapore, Malaysia, India, US, China, Russia, South America, UK, Canada. All of these people are on his list, and it's growing. His list is growing at like 5,000 a week, and he's just getting the message out there more. This is just one story. I mean, we've got tons of stories like this.
Yeah. So what kind of people can benefit from your program?
I'll tell you this. Basically, anyone who's looking to spend about an hour or two a day, who wants to start their own web-based business, but someone who's got a little bit more behind it. You don't want to just make money, because what we do is, yes, we teach you how to make money, because at the end of the day, a business is not going to function without money. But what we're helping you do is build an email list. We're helping you build a subscriber base, and we're helping you reach the world. So someone who's got a message, something that they really, or they want to touch lives, okay? If nothing else, if they don't have a specific thing that they want to teach, or if they don't have a specific tablet, and 98% of our students don't have that. They just want to reach the world. They just want to send out inspiring messages. They just want to help people. If you've got that desire, plus you want to start generating 10,000 plus a month from home, doing what you love to do, and eventually only spending an hour or two a day doing it, that's the person we're looking for. And we're looking for someone who's super dedicated. This isn't a push a button, click riches type of program. You're not going to come in here and click one button and be a millionaire by tomorrow. I'll never promise that. That's crazy. You have to definitely come in. You have to learn. You have to do some work. But we're here to support you. The whole support team will gather behind you. But really, we're looking for two people. One who wants to start their own business, wants to generate income from home, and a nice size income, 10,000 plus. Second is someone who just wants to touch the world, who wants to reach out and help.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're listening to this show, anyone, and you have a passion to be able to help other people, and to get your message out there, then I recommend that you get involved with Anik. If you click on the banner to the side here, you'll actually go straight through to Anik's website from here, and you can find out all about him. You can connect with him, find out all about his program. And like I said, Anik's a good friend of mine. So the reason I have him on the show is because like I said, for me, the internet has been a game changer. It's completely changed my life. In so many different ways, and not just mine, but it's just the ripple effect of how it's been able to reach. We're nearly up to 2 million people, I think, that we've reached around the world, that we could never have done if we were just, running workshops or doing things, in our local area. So I highly recommend that you do that. And click on that banner and go through to Anik's website from there. So Anik, thanks again for joining us today. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
No, thank you, Natalie. It was awesome. And for everyone who listened, thank you for listening. Hope we were able to inspire and help. And I'm always here if I can help in any other way. And Natalie, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Now, guys, I encourage you to share this video. You can actually do that by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons on this page. Download the app if you haven't done so already, so you can watch the shows on the go. You don't necessarily have to be in front of your computer. And make sure that you leave your email in the box on the page here, so I can send you the Manifesting with the Masters video e-course. It's actually valued at $87, and I would love to send it to you for free. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.